I think if you ask any of my students, one of the most memorable parts of their training, it would have to be what I refer to as Socratic Cross-Examination. Here's what I mean by that. Let's take a physical skill like pericard. Right? I'll teach you how to do that. You learn how to move your hand, you learn where the leg goes on, you can make this parry pretty good. Then I attack you. See if you can still parry. So what I'm saying is I'm conditioning you. I gradually increase the amplitude of the cue, make it more and more challenging so that you can resist the urge to surrender to emotions and just accommodate whatever happens, right? You got to keep your cool. That's what those drills are about. Desensitization drills are about teaching you to keep your cool. That's the same thing with Socratic cross-examination. My first purpose is to engage your critical thinking ability. Maybe you don't have any, maybe nobody ever taught you that. So a lot of times I just wind up guiding you through it so that you can learn how to do it. And critical thinking has a lot of parts to it. It's you learn to identify various kinds of fallacies. That's a big one. You learn to evaluate evidence. If you want to learn how to do that, start with the federal rules of evidence, and that shows you how they think about things and what gets admitted and what doesn't get admitted and why or why not. It's about evaluating the value of the evidence you have. And then based on that evidence, you reach some kind of tentative hypothesis of what the truth might be. So in the beginning, we do this pretty easy. And that's one of the reasons I talk to my students about a lot of stuff that isn't specifically about fencing. I try to learn what they're into and what they think about things. And then we delve into why they think about those things. And I challenge them on their thinking about something. If they think the sun rises in the east, I want to know, well, how do you know that? Did you read it in a book? Did somebody tell you? Did you see it for yourself? How do you know that's east? And so on. Just to go through the thinking process, you have to know why you believe what you believe. I want my students to know absolutely why we do what we do. Every technique, every tactic, every strategic choice, there's a reason for it. And I want them to know the reason without any doubt. I don't want monkey see, monkey do, or I don't want because daddy said so. I want them to understand the why behind the what and the how. And then as they get better at it, I challenge them at a higher level. And I think some students have compared it to being the guest of honor at a shark feeding frenzy. Some people would call it badgering. Only badgers ain't got nothing on me. And the more advanced a student is, the more aggressive and provocative this cross-examination becomes. Because I'm trying to trigger your emotions. I'm trying to get an emotional response from you. Because it's one thing to use your critical faculties, right, when everything is hunky-dory. It's another thing to do that when there's an emotional stress. And being able to think critically when you're under emotional stress, that's the most important time to be able to do it, right? The most important time to do your self-defense techniques is not in the dojo. It's when some jamoke comes up to you on the street, right? And if you can't do it then, it isn't worth much. So, so that's part of it's part of my approach. Because I want to be sure that what people learn in the salle d'armes, they can take with them and use outside the salle d'armes. And I think you can use this.